Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Off Campus. Kindly subscribe our channel Off Campus and then click on the bell icon also. Then only you will receive notification whenever we upload videos. In this video, we are going to see some important questions or most important questions in electronic devices and circuits. Okay, this is repeated and most important questions taken from the previous year question papers. Okay, like GATE and TNEB and TRB Polytechnic, all other exams. Okay, let's go into the problem one by one. In an extrinsic semiconductor, if this is like match the following. In A column there is given set of statement, in B column, in second column also given set of statement, we need to match. Okay, first the resistivity decreases, the temperature coefficient of resistivity is negative, the photoconductivity is low. In here the doping concentration is low, the length of the semiconductor is reduced, the band gap is high, the area of cross section of the semiconductor is increased, the doping concentration is increased. See, resistivity decreases. First we will take extrinsic semiconductor. We can take any type, either N type or P type semiconductor. Let's, for example, we can take P type. If N type semiconductor, so resistivity rho n is nothing but 1 by reciprocal of conductivity, right? 1 by sigma n. So what is the formula for sigma ND? ND is donor impurity concentration. If it is N type, it is donor impurity concentration. If it is P type, it is acceptor impurity concentration. So NdQ mu E. Okay, mu, NdQ mu. Sigma is nothing but what is the conductivity? NdQ mu. So see, resistivity increases. So resistivity increases. What about the conductivity? Decreases na. Then what about the donor impurity concentration? Doping concentration also decreases. Okay, see, if resistivity decreases, what will happen? Doping concentration will automatically increase. So resistivity decreases, doping concentration is increased. Match with 5. Here doping concentration is low. It is wrong. Whenever the resistivity decreases, automatically the doping concentration is increased because they are inversely proportional. Okay, so A matches with 5. A matches with 5. Then what about the next one? The temperature coefficient of resistivity is negative. What does it means? The temperature coefficient of resistivity is negative means, if temperature is increased means what will happen? Negative means the resistivity automatically decrease. Okay, so automatically decrease means what does it means? Resistivity decrease, automatically the doping concentration will increase. So B also matches with the fifth option. Okay, so see, the photoconductivity is low. Whenever the conductivity is low, what will happen ma? The band gap is high. Okay, so C matches with 3. So C, A 5, B 5 and C is 3. Okay, let's move on to the next problem. See, assuming that the amp in the circuit shown is ideal, V0 is given by, so this is given, ideal op amp is given, we need to find out the V0 value. Let's see how to find it. So op amp is ideal means automatically what we can assume, voltage gain is infinite. Whenever for ideal amp voltage gain is infinite, what is the voltage gain? Output voltage divided by input difference voltage. Okay, differential input voltage, V0 divided by Vi. So it is infinite means what will happen? Vid is equal to V0 by infinity. Okay, V0 by infinity, anything divided by infinity automatically 0. What is the differential input here? Non-inverting terminal V minus, this is 2 input is given na. This is inverting terminal, plus minus denotes to non-inverting terminal. So V plus minus V minus, differential input voltage, difference of 2 input, that is V plus minus V minus is equal to 0. Then what will happen? V plus is equal to V minus. This is called virtual short. This is known as virtual short. Whenever V plus is equal to V minus, then it is called concept of virtual short. We'll see. We'll apply KCL at V2. Okay, V2 means, so this is V2. From V2, so V minus is equal to V plus. So here V minus is equal to V1, V plus is equal to V2. Automatically, by the concept of virtual short, this V2 will same here only na. So this node is also V2. So now we are going to apply KCL at node V2. Okay, this is KCL at node V2. What will happen? V2 minus V1 divided by R. V2 minus V1 divided by R. Here. 1 second guys. See. V2 minus V1 divided by R plus V2 minus V0 divided by 3R. V2 minus V0 divided by 3R. V2 minus V0 divided by plus this one. V2 divided by 2R. V2 minus V1 by R plus V2 by 2R. Then V2 minus V0 divided by 3R. 3 loops now, here and here and here. Okay. So this is the equation. Then we'll solve this. Then find out the V0 value. So we will solve this. So V0 one side and V2 minus V2 other side. What will happen? V2 and V1. V0 by 3. By simplification, we will get V0 as 11 by 2. V2 minus 3 V1. V0 one side and V2 and V1 other side. Okay. Then the current in the, okay, this is the statement given. The current in the enhancement mode NMOS transistor biased in saturation mode was measured to be 1 milliamperes at a drain source voltage of, drain source voltage is nothing but what is this? VDS of 5 volt when the drain source voltage was increased to 6 volt while keeping the gate source voltage same. The drain in current increased to 1.02 milliamps. This is drain current. Assume that the drain to source saturation voltages is much smaller than the applied drain source voltage. The channel length modulation parameter lambda in voltage inverse we need to find out. So what is given in the formula? First, what is the ID? Okay. What is the ID ma? ID is a drain current. First it is 1 milliamperes where VDS is equal to 5 volt. When VDS is increased to 6 volt, what will be the VGS is same. VGS is same for both this. When VDS is 5 volt, current is 1 milliamp. VDS is increased to 6 volt, current becomes 1.02 milliamperes. We need to find out the channel length modulation parameter. We'll see how to solve this. So ID is equal to 1 milliamperes at VDS is equal to 5 volt. ID is equal to 1.02 milliamperes at VDS is equal to 6 volt. Then lambda is equal to what? So what is happen? Usually if ID is constant means in saturation region whenever VDS is increased, ID becomes constant. Okay. That is called saturation. Whenever ID becomes constant, it is called saturation region. So we will, if lambda equal to 0, we will usually we will neglect when ID is a constant means in a saturation or MOS transistor is in saturation region when ID becomes constant. Okay, that time we neglect the channel length parameter. Okay, lambda is equal to 0, ID becomes constant in saturation. That time we will neglect the channel length parameter. So ID is equal to, what is the formula that time? Beta into VGS minus VT the whole square. Here if lambda is not equal to 0, ID is also not constant, become VDS is 5, ID is varying now. So we need to consider into the lambda. Lambda is equal to not 0 means ID is not equal to 0. Then what is the formula? When channel length modulation is taken into when we considering this, what will happen if lambda is equal to 0? See, in general, transistor is in saturation region means ID becomes constant. That time we will neglect the channel length modulation parameter. That time this is the formula. If lambda is not equal to 0 in this case, so ID is also not constant. ID drain current is varying now. So what is the formula? At that time, ID channel length modulation is equal to beta into VGS minus VT the whole square into 1 plus lambda into del VDS. So this is the formula if we take lambda. Okay. So VDS, del VDS is nothing but difference of these two voltage. What will happen? 6 minus 5, 1. So lambda into 1. Beta into VGS minus VT the whole squared. We can take this. If we consider channel length modulation, the ID value this is equal to ID. So ID is equal to beta into VGS minus VT the whole square is equal to ID na. So that is 1. When we taken lambda, what is the ID value? ID CLM is nothing but 1.02. This is 1. This 1 milliampere into 1 plus lambda into delta VDS is nothing but 6 minus 5, 1. So 1.02 minus 1, all are 1 only. So 1 plus lambda. So what is lambda? 1.02 minus 1. What will happen? 0.02 volt inverse. So this is the channel length parameter value. Then drift current in semiconductor depends upon 4 different options in given. We will see. First we'll know drift current formula. We should know. Then we'll find out. Okay. So what is the options? Only the electric field E. This is E. Only the carrier concentration is not concentration gradient. So carrier concentration is different and carrier concentration gradient also both are different. So this is carrier concentration gradient only. So dN by dx. Then both the electric field and carrier concentration. So carrier concentration is ND or doping concentration. So electric E and ND. Then here both the electric field E, the carrier concentration gradient E comma dN by dx. So we need to find out drift current in semiconductor depends upon. Okay. So assume if it is N-type semiconductor, drift current is nothing but, we know J in general. What is the current density formula? J equal to I by A. Okay, current divided by that area. So I is nothing but I drift equal to J drift into A. So here see I drift, there two are current and current density both are directly proportional, right? So we know the formula for current density, and that is sigma into E. Sigma conductivity formula already we have applied in from, right? Conductivity is nothing but NdQ mu. NdQ mu epsilon. Okay. Here see what is the, as I told earlier, both are directly proportional. Okay. So if Jn is directly proportional to this value, automatically I also directly proportional. So see here E is nothing, this epsilon is denoted as electric field, this is carrier concentration NDA. So it depends upon which one? Drift current. So I is automatically proportional to these two values. So I proportional to electric field and carrier concentration. Here epsilon, we can mention electric field as epsilon. Simple. So both the electric field and carrier concentration E epsilon and ND. Option C is the right option. Then a half wave rectifier uses a diode with a forward resistance RF. The voltage is Vm sin omega t and the load resistance is RL. The DC current is given by. So we are going to find out the DC current for the half wave semiconductor. Then this is the circuit of half wave rectifier. One diode parallel series with the load resistance. Input is given as Vm sin omega t na, so plus minus. So whenever it is diode will be replaced by forward resistance, right? Here see diode with the forward resistance. So forward resistance here IL. So I is equal to this one. So what is I? I is equal to Vm sin omega t divided by RF plus RL. So maximum, at the maximum we can put sin omega value as sin 90 degree. So sin 90 degree is equal to 1 at maximum. So sin 90 degree is equal to 1 only. So Vm, it is simply what is the maximum current? Vm by RF plus RL. So Im, we can say it is a Im. Im is equal to Vm by RF plus RL. So IDC is equal to Im by pi. Okay, we know the DC current of the half wave rectifier is nothing but IDC in general. IDC in half wave rectifier, what that only we need to find out. The DC current is given by IDC is equal to I average is equal to IM by pi. This is the standardized formula. So now we know the IM value, VM by RF plus RL. Just substitute in this formula. What we will get? IDC ma, IDC is equal to IM by pi, which is equal to VM by RF by RL into pi. So this is the IDC value, VM divided by pi into RF plus RL. Then the bandwidth of an n-stage tuned amplifier with each stage having a bandwidth of B is given by. For a bandwidth of n-stage cascading amplifier, this is the answer, B into square root of 2 power 1 by n minus 1. So by cascading, whenever we are doing cascading, gain will be increased. So bandwidth, gain and bandwidth is inversely proportional. So automatically bandwidth is reduced if it is less than 1 for n greater than 1. So whenever n is increased, now it is become, see, for n equal to 1, just check 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. Okay, if n is equal to 2 means 1 by 2, 2 power 1 by 2. Again, if n value greater than 1, automatically this square root value will become less than 1. So bandwidth is nothing but this one, B into square root of 2 power 1 by n minus 1. For an NPN transistor connector as shown in figure, VBE is equal to 0.7 volt, given that reverse saturation current of the junction at room temperature 300 Kelvin is 10 power minus 3 amperes, the emitter current is. So in this figure we are going to find out the emitter current. What is given? VBE, base to emitter voltage, is given as 0.7 volt, and reverse saturation current IS is equal to 10 power minus 3 amps. We are going to find out the IC value, IE value, emitter current. So this is reverse saturation current, IC naught or IC 0. So if, see, this is base terminal, this is collector, this is emitter terminal. If whenever two terminals are connected, that transistor act as a diode. Okay, two terminals of BJT or shorted, it will act for any two terminal, not only B and C or C and E or B and E or B and C, whatever two terminals is. So this is here now is shorted, then the transistor becomes act as diode. Now we can use a generalized diode current equation. What is that diode current equation? I is equal to I naught e power V by eta Vt, eta into Vt in the denominator, minus 1. So in general, eta is equal to 2 for silicon, eta value is equal to 1 for germanium. So I is nothing but the emitter current IE, I naught is reverse saturation current, e power V is nothing but VBE divided by, whenever eta value is given or whenever it is not specified whether it is a silicon or germanium semiconductor, we can take eta value as 1. Okay, Vt value is, this is a general, this is a constant value at room temperature 300 Kelvin, it is 26 millivolt. Okay, then minus 1. So substitute all this value. So I naught value we know from the given problem, given I naught value given, then what else? VBE value we know, Vt value it is a constant value, then all this remaining, what is remaining, substitute all this value, then find out IE is equal to 49 milliamperes. Okay, then in figure, this figure, all transistors are identical and have a high value of beta. The voltage VDC is equal to, so this figure, see, this is nothing but Wilson current mirror circuit. Okay, so whenever this figure, what is a Wilson current mirror circuit is nothing but mirror of this one. Okay, so the same current will flow here also, 5 milliamperes. Now we need to find out VDC. Very simple. How can we find out VDC? See, VDC, so this is called BJT, Wilson mirror circuit. So automatically, I missed out now, 1 kilo ohm. This is the resistance value, that is 1 kilo ohm. Okay, This is the current flowing through the resistor. The same current will flow through this one. This circuit is Wilson mirror circuit. We'll see. BJT Wilson mirror. So the 5 milliamps will flow here also. So what is VDC? This is very simple. VDC from this. How can we find out? VDC is equal to 10 volt minus 5 milliamperes into 1 kilo ohm. So beta is given as beta value is very large. Very large means what is that, ma? IB, what is the relationship beta and IB and IC by beta? IB is equal to, IC is equal to beta by IB. Beta into IB. IB is equal to IC by beta. What is given? Beta is very large means infinite. We can take very large value. So whenever it is infinite, base current is 0. So whenever it is mentioned beta is very high, we can assume that base current is 0. So we can ignore that base current. So we can find out VDC from this. So VDC is equal to 10 minus 1 into this. So simply milliampere and kilo ohm get cancelled now. 10 power minus 3. This is 10 power 3. So simply 5. 10 minus 5, 5 volt. 5 volt is the answer. Then the first dominant pole encoded in the frequency response of a compensated op amp is approximately at 4 different options given. First we know what is the dominant pole. Dominant pole is nothing but that the pole which is very nearer to the origin in the left half of S plane. So this is S plane, right half of S plane. This is left half of S plane. Dominant pole is nothing but the pole which is very nearer to the origin. So gain is reduced. Actually gain is reduced by 20 dB per decade. So we have chart. We have one generalized chart for that one. Which one? Gain with frequency. Okay. So whenever first dominant pole, the frequency is 5 Hz. Okay. The built-in potential of the gate junction of an N-channel JFET is 0.5 volt. The drain current saturates at VDS is equal to 4.0 volt. Okay. Built-in potential given. Drain current also given. Drain current saturation at VDS is equal to 4.0 volts when VGS is equal to 0. The pinch off voltage is. What is given? The built-in potential of the gate junction of N-channel JFET is 0.5 volt. The drain current saturates at VDS is equal to 4.0 volts when VGS is equal to 0. The pinch off voltage. So first we'll know what is pinch off voltage. So it is the minimum amount of VDS, drain to source voltage, required to make ID constant. What is that? What is the pinch off voltage? It is the minimum amount of VDS required to make the drain current constant when VGS equal to 0. So when VGS equal to 0, pinch off voltage modulus of Vp is equal to modulus of VGS off. VGS off means VGS equal to 0. What is the minimum drain to source voltage to maintain ID constant when VGS equal to 0? This is known as pinch off voltage. So when VGS is equal to 0, what is the this one? VDS, this is 4.0 volt, right? So and it is given as what is that, ma? N-channel JFET. N-channel JFET, it is negative value. So Vp is nothing but minus 4 volt. Pinch off voltage. Then for an N-channel MOSFET and its transfer curve shown in figure, the threshold voltage is. So we are going to find out the threshold voltage from the transfer curve. Okay. So 4 different options are given. From that, what is given? If VGS is less than, so this is called as threshold voltage VT. See, threshold voltage we need to find out from the option C. 1 volt, the device is in active region, minus 1 volt, the device in saturation region, 1 volt and the device in saturation region, minus 1 volt the device in active region. So Vt value we need to find out, and then the region of the transistor also we need to find out. So if VGS is less than Vt, what is the ID current? ID current is 0 no. Less than 1 volt, what is the there is no ID current flow. After VGS becomes greater than Vt, only the ID current flows. Okay, drain current will flows. From the figure we can identify VGS is less than Vt. Up to 1 volt, what is the ID current? There is no ID current. After 1 volt only the ID current flows. So from the transfer current we can, if VGS less than Vt, ID 0. If VGS greater than Vt, ID flows. So Vt is automatically threshold voltage is 1 volt. Now we need to find out the whether is transistor is in active region and saturation region. So we have a condition for a saturation region. We'll see if that condition matches with the given curve, then it is called the transistor is in so MOSFET is in saturation. If that condition does not means then it is in the active region. Now we can find out the Vt value as 1 volt. Now we need to identify the region of, okay, whether it is active or saturation region. So we have condition for saturation region. What is that? VDS greater than VGS, VDS greater than or equal to VGS minus Vt. What is the condition? This is very important. VDS greater than or equal to VGS minus Vt. So Vd minus Vs, Vg minus Vs minus Vt. Vs get cancelled. So automatically Vd greater than or equal to Vg minus Vt. What is Vd here? Vd is given as 5 volt. From here, see 5 volt greater than or equal to Vg. Vg is 3 volt. What is Vt? Vt is equal to 1 volt. This one. Okay, 1 volt. So automatically 5, 3 minus 1 is 2. 5 greater than or equal to 2. So this is satisfies condition. So this N-channel MOSFET is in the saturation region. So what is the threshold voltage? 1 volt and the device is in saturation region is the right option. Then the SCR can be turned on by applying anode voltage at sufficiently fast rate, applying sufficiently large anode voltage, increasing the temperature of SCR to a sufficiently large value, applying sufficiently large gate current. Solution. We have several methods to turn off thyristor. Okay, what is that? Forward voltage triggering, gate triggering, dV by dt triggering, temperature triggering, light triggering. So all the given options are correct only. So most commonly used is gate triggering. Applying sufficiently large gate current is the right option. Then the circuit shown represents, so we need to identify this circuit is belongs to which one. So for what is the option given? Band pass filter, a voltage controlled oscillator, an amplitude modulator, a monostable multivibrator. We'll see. See the feedback element. Feedback element is given to the, this is for the feedback element now, R and C, which this is given into the non-inverting terminal. Non-inverting terminal or inverting, if it is given to positive means it is non-inverting terminal, negative means it is inverting terminal. Whenever V0 is taken from the non-inverting terminal, which means that it is a positive feedback. Can you get, guys? Whenever V0 is taken from the non-inverting terminal, then it is called positive feedback. If it is taken from the inverting terminal, it is known as negative feedback. So for positive feedback, which all come under positive feedback? For oscillator and multivibrators only, we are giving positive feedback. It cannot be a band pass filter or amplitude modulator. Band pass filter, amplitude modulator. Only it is a maybe a voltage control oscillator or a monostable multivibrator. So for oscillator and multivibrator only we will give positive feedback. So from this option, from these two we can eliminate we can choose the best one. So see, then we'll see the feedback circuit. It is R and C, resistor and capacitor. For a voltage controlled oscillator, in feedback element what is there? Hartley oscillator. Hartley oscillator only will be in the feedback circuit. Hartley oscillator means it will have 2 inductor and 1 capacitor. So PN junction also in reverse bias. So automatically if it is having R and C, if it is a oscillator means it will have voltage control oscillator means what will be in the feedback circuit, that is Hartley circuit. In Hartley circuit means 2L, L and C will be there, okay, 2L and 1C. R and C only for monostable multivibrator. If it is feedback element is resistor and capacitor, then it is called monostable multivibrator is the right option. Then a BJT is biased in the forward active mode. Assume VBE is equal to 0.7 volt, KT by Q. It is nothing but VT. VT is a constant value, 25 millivolt, and reverse saturation current IS is equal to 10 power minus 3 amperes. Then the transconductance of the BJT in milliamperes per volt. So what is the formula for transconductance? Transconductance is nothing but IC by VT, which is approximately IB is equal to 0. So IE equal to emitter current is equal to collector current plus base current. IB is very small, we can neglect that. So IC is equal to approximately IE by VT. So IE is a diode current equation. Already we have solved now. IS or I0. Here reverse saturation current is mentioned as IS. Okay, so IS into e power V by V3 minus 1. Whenever eta is not mentioned, we can take eta is equal to 1 or we can ignore. Okay, divided by this VT. So VT value given. This is a general 25 millivolt or 26 millivolt. It is varies. Okay, if it is given 25, we can take 25. So V is nothing but VBE. VBE is 0.7 volt. IS is 10 power minus 13 amperes. E power VBE by VT is given as 25 millivolt or 0.025 minus 1. Minus 1, if it is taking, we will have very large value when we doing. So subtracting this from minus 1 will not have much impact. Okay, so we can ignore this. Divided by VT. VT is nothing but again 0.025. When we solving, we will get 5785 milliamperes per volt, the transconductance value. Then negative feedback in an amplifier. Whenever what is the 4 different options are given: reduces gain, increases frequency and phase distortion, reduces bandwidth, increases noise. So what is the advantage of negative feedback? We'll see. Usually negative feedback, stability in gain increased. Even though for negative feedback gain is decreased, bandwidth is increased. Okay, even though the gain is reduced in negative feedback, the stability of that gain is increased. Then noise reduced, distortion also reduced. What are the phase, amplitude and frequency distortion is reduced. Bandwidth increased. Bandwidth means FH minus FL now. So FL will be reduced, FH is automatically increased, so automatically bandwidth increase. Input and output resistance are modified according to the requirement. Only one disadvantage in the negative feedback. All are the advantages only using negative feedback. Only one disadvantage is nothing but gain is reduced in negative feedback. So negative feedback in an amplifier reduces gain is the right option. Then a DC voltage of 10 volt is applied across N-type silicon bar having a rectangular cross section and a length of 1 centimeter as shown in the figure. This figure will see what else given. The donor doping concentration Nd and the mobility of electrons mu n are the values 10 power 16 centimeter power minus 3 and 100,000 centimeter square V power minus 1 S power minus 1 respectively. The average time in microseconds taken by the electrons to move from one end of the bar to the other end. So what is given? Nd value given, mu n given. We need to find out the time taken to travel from one end to another end. Distance also given. So what is the value? We'll write one by one from the problem. So V is equal to 10 volt. dl, length of the semiconductor bar is equal to 1 centimeter. So doping concentration Nd value given right here. nd value. Then mobility of electrons mu n also given. Just write down all this. Now we need to find out the time travel from one end to another end. Okay, what is the time travel? How can we find out from the given data? We'll see. Okay, transit time, time taken to, what is actually a transit time? Time taken to amount of time required to move charge carriers from one end to another end is known as transit time. Okay, so time tau we need to find out. So tau or t, whatever. Okay, this is, we can say this is tau, transit time tau. So for what is the formula for just from length of the semiconductor divided by velocity of the electron. Time travel from one end to another, amount of time required to one end to another by what will travel to move charge carriers from one end to another. So length of the semiconductor divided by velocity of the electrons. Electrons means charge carriers. Okay, length divided by velocity. Length is L, velocity is Vn. So length L value given 1 centimeter na. What is V? Velocity value is nothing but mu n into epsilon. So epsilon is nothing but, what is that ma? Epsilon is equal to electric field. Electric field value, we have one formula, E is equal to V by D. V is a voltage, D is a distance. Here we can say distance is given as length. Okay, whatever given. So E is equal to V by L. So epsilon value V by L. So it will go to the numerator, L squared by mu n into V. Just substitute L value. L value is 1 centimeter. This one, mu value given in the formula, V value also know. All substitute L, mu and V, then find out tau is equal to 100 microsecond. Tau is, we need to find out in microseconds. Okay, then due to elimination by light, the electron and hole concentration in a heavily doped n-type semiconductor increases by del N and del P respectively if Ni is the intrinsic carrier concentration. So due to elimination by light, the electron and hole concentration in a heavily doped n-type semiconductor increases by del N and del P respectively if Ni is the intrinsic carrier concentration. So 4 different options are given: del N less than del P, del N greater than del P, del N is equal to del P, del N into del P equal to Ni square. So what is the given question? If due to elimination of the light, the electron and hole concentration value increased by del N and del P, then what is the relation between these two? After elimination of light, we need to find out. So what is given? So given as n-type semiconductor. N-type is nothing but Nn is equal to Nd. So Nn is nothing but electron carrier concentration, which is approximately equal to majority carrier concentration. For n-type, so we have Morse action law. In general, Np is equal to Ni squared. In general, this is the formula. N into P is equal to, this is major. So for n-type, N suffix N, P suffix N. So electron is a majority concentration, hole is a minority carrier concentration for n-type. So what is Pn automatically from this? See, what is the minority carrier concentration? Ni squared by Nn. This Nn. Nn is electron carrier concentration. It is approximately equal to the doping concentration Nd. So Pn is equal to this Ni squared. Okay, right hand. Ni squared by Nd. So after elimination of light only, we need to check the what is that electron and hole concentration relationship. After light elimination, so let del be the number of covalent bonds are broken, means so Nn approximately Nd. So Nd plus del N. Here also Pn is equal to what will happen? Ni squared by Nd. This one. Nn is equal to Nd plus del N, increased by del N and del P is given now. Is increases by del N and del P after elimination by light. So this value becomes Nd plus del n. This value becomes Ni squared Nd plus del P. See, number of electrons and holes are same only. Del n is equal to del P only after number of covalent bonds broken. So the relationship is equal to del n is equal to del P. Then a semiconductor is irradiated by light. With light, such carriers are uniformly generated throughout its volume. The semiconductor is n-type with Nd is equal to 10 power 19 centimeter. If the excess electron concentration in the steady state is del n is equal to 10 power 15 centimeter cube, tau p is equal to 10 microseconds. Minority carrier lifetime, the generation rate due to irradiation is. So what is given? We need to find out the generation rate. What is the formula for generation rate? Generation rate formula is nothing but del n by tau p. So del n is given, tau p is given. Generation rate, or this is recombination rate, is excess electron concentration by minority carrier lifetime, del n by tau p. So just substitute in this value and then find out. So the unit is usually electron hole pair centimeter square by option A is the. So generation rate formula is nothing but del n by tau p, excess electron concentration divided by minority carrier lifetime. Okay. Then the intrinsic semiconductor, the intrinsic carrier density at 300 Kelvin is 1.5 into 10 power 10 centimeter cube for silicon. For n-type silicon doped to 2.25 into 10 power 15 atoms per centimeter cube. The equilibrium electron and hole densities. Electron and hole densities is nothing but we will find out Nn and Pn, or N and P are asking. So what is given? Intrinsic carrier density value is nothing but Ni. Ni value is 1.5 into 10 power 10 centimeter cube. What else given? Doped, n-type doped silicon. So Nd value is given 2.25 into 10 power 16. So by using the Morse action law, what is the Morse action law? As I told earlier, Nd is approximately Nn. So Morse action law for n-type semiconductor. In general, Np is equal to Ni squared. For n-type, Nn Pn is equal to Ni squared. Here, Nn is the majority carrier concentration electrons. Holes is the minority carrier. So what is Pn actually? Nn approximately equal to Nd. So Nd value is nothing but N value. Okay, that is 2.25. So now we need to find out the minority carrier concentration P value for n-type. Pn is equal to Ni squared by Nn. Ni squared given in the problem, the value. Nd also given. So when find out Pn is equal to, when we doing this 1.0, and this is the minority carrier concentration, and the N value is nothing but the given Nd value. So N value is given Nd, P value is, using Morse action law we can find out that one. So option C is the right option. Then move on to the next problem. What is that? In the circuit shown below, the current voltage relationship when D1 and D2 are identical is given by, assume it is a germanium diodes. So current equation, current voltage relationship we need to identify where D1 and D2 are identical. We'll see. So 4 different options are given. So see the circuit I have redrawn here, the given in the problem. So this is flowing current I1 is separated here. This is the total current I. Here it is separated as I1 and that is I2. So D1 and D2 are given as identical. When it is identical, and it is germanium also given. For germanium only na, here assume germanium diode. For a germanium diode, what is the zeta value? Equal to 1. So we know the diode current equation na, I0 into e power v by eta vt minus 1. Here eta is equal to 1 for germanium diode. Okay. Then what else we know? If D1 and D2 are identical, means the reverse saturation current is same. In this we are having reverse saturation, both are same. So I01 and I02 is simply I0 only. Okay. That only we can identify from the identical diodes. Whenever diodes are identical, the reverse saturation current is same. Then see, for this diode, this is connected to positive terminal and this is connected to negative terminal, so D1 is forward bias. So this one is connected to the negative terminal and this is to the positive terminal, so D2 is reverse biased. Okay, then D1 is forward bias and D2 is reverse bias. So forward bias, what is a, for forward bias diode we can use the general diode current equation. What is that? I equal to I naught into e power v by eta vt minus 1. Here I1 is equal to, we can take I1 for diode D1. So total current I is equal to I1 plus I2. So what is I1? I naught into e power v by eta vt minus 1. I1 is equal to I naught into e power eta is equal to 1 for Germany, v by vt minus 1. Then diode is reverse biased. Reverse bias means only reverse current only flows. Okay, reverse saturation current only flows. So I2 is automatically equal to I naught. So what is the total current I? I1 plus I2. So I is equal to I1 plus I2, I naught into e power v by vt. This one. Just multiply inside here. See, I naught into e power v by vt minus I naught. Again, what is I2? It is simply plus I naught. I naught get cancelled. So I naught, I equal to I naught into e power v by vt. I by I naught. This will go to here. Then take natural logarithm or exponential will go here as ln of. Ln of I by I naught is equal to v by vt. So what is v? V is equal to vt into ln I by I naught. Vt we know, Vt value is nothing but Kt by Q. So V equal to Kt by Q ln I by I naught. V equal to Kt by Q ln I by I naught. B is the right option. Okay. Then in a MOS, so we can stop up to this. We'll solve problems or discuss the remaining problems in our next session. Okay, so kindly subscribe our channel Off Campus and then click on the bell icon also, then only you will receive notification. We have posted many videos under engineering mathematics and other engineering subject. If you haven't seen those videos still, kindly check with the playlist. Okay, thanks for watching.